Folks, welcome to race number. Okay, I guess I fumbled early on. What's up, Davin? It's Sarthak. And we head into the Canadian GP. Any idea which race number it is?
Oh, we are finally into the double digit Saturday.
Oh,
This is the
okay.
first
About
one,
time.
round number 10 it is. Here we are in Canada, a place where I'd say a lot of the Punjabis like me like to go, but not me. Uh, yeah, Canada is a fun place to go always. Maybe a bit of a rain today, I don't know. We've been longing for some wet races. Can we get one today though? I don't know, Satek. It's good to have you back after a long break. How's things been with you, man?
Yeah,
Happy New Year as well.
feels good to be back. And yeah, for the handful of people who've just joined in, Happy New Year to you. And Happy New Year to Dalvin. And looks like New Year started off on the right note for you, Dalvin. There's
There we
rain in
go.
the pit
That's
lane.
some rain.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
There you go. I don't think
Okay.
I don't think we've ever had rain in our Canada races here in the Bwoah Racing League before. But the one significant thing that keeps happening is KDB in the front row.
Yep. It's probably a track that really suits the wheel more than the controllers historically here, right? Because we know that controllers don't really do well from fast direction changes, and Canada is full of those. Canada is just basically some straights, some chicanes, and a hairpin. So, well, that doesn't deter the other drivers from putting in some good lap times, as we know. Some drivers on the pad as well, like Derp and Envy, have been putting in some race-winning performances in the recent races, half season almost, and we've seen what they can do. Uh, Wet weather, it kind of neutralizes the feel. We will see who are the men, who are the boys who can really perform in the wets, and we'll see maybe towards the end if there's a dry spell.
Possibly. Our first car out on track coming out is a Muck, as I presume. 15 drivers will be out on track soon enough. And we've got the likes of Kubarabi driving for another team. Does guarantee him points, but not so much for his team, who's desperately trying to get that top spot or hold on to that top spot in the constructors' fight. The in-game McLaren team. How do you think they've been doing, Gouts and Andre, in fact?
Andre, yeah, very consistent. I think they have had a bit of an unlucky spell in some races where things don't turn out their way. Probably crashed out by someone, or just a bit of unlucky incidents with the safety cars and whatnot. As we know, the game is always playing its tricks. But on the good days, they're really up there, and a good haul of points is what they really need for their constructors bid.
And as you say that, we got Andre who had a nasty spin in qualifying already.
Yep. Wet weather starts to catch up some drivers. Probably they're not used to it, I guess. Most of the times we see drivers practicing only on the dries. So going out on these, not so optimal conditions in the wets and intermediates, yeah, drivers will try to find the limit as fast as they can before the end of qualifying. 15 minutes remaining. Drivers, some are still staying in the pits. I wonder, Sartek, just wonder if there's a dry spell coming towards the end, if that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, perhaps there is. Sector 3 lights up yellow, and looks like it's a McLaren and a Williams, if I'm not wrong, and an Alpine, incredibly slow Alpine, in the entrance of Sector 3. And yeah, he has no front wing. That's RB Ferrero without a front wing in Sector 3. The same part of the track, we saw a real cool move made. Probably not a cool move if SV is watching, but we had a scenario where SV ended up taking out someone, and KDB had free gap and jump in two positions in a matter of two corners. Interesting things happen in Canada.
Yeah, and speaking about if I can get my words right, speaking of interesting, Sartek, would you look at the drivers who are out on track? They are all on the soft tires.
Exactly.
I think it's like we predicted. There is a dry spell coming, so it is really drying up. You can visually see the rain is starting to get lighter and lighter, and drivers are already getting out on softs. So it looks wet, but it's much faster on these slick tires compared to the intermediates. Not optimal though.
Yeah, I started to worry almost where it could have been a glitch for me on my board on the live screen. Turns out it's not. The only driver to come out on a different set is Horning. He's considering mediums. He's still in the pits, still not out yet. Hopefully we can see a lap time or two soon. And as I say that, 1 minute 18.154 by Baby Shumi. He's in the top 5 in the driver's title fight. That's the first time on the board.
Yep, and second driver to come across the track, Streeter now. Oh, he's on an outlap. Well, for me, but let's see. I think the other driver who's on the mediums already is Horning's teammate, Derp. So the Alfa Romeo are definitely hatching some plans over here to go, on an alternate strategy for the race. Tire strategies are pretty interesting as well because Canada is usually a track where the two-stop prevails over the one-stop, given the shorter pit lane and also how the tires react after they have gone past about 30% of life. That just grants the two-stop a much faster race pace and overall speed as well.
Yeah, and as you say that, speaking of speed, it's Kubarabi beating the lap time of Baby Shumis. Puts that car in provisional pole, but a bit too early to say that as his teammate sets 1 minute 17.253, not as quick as him. But hopefully that's not a glitch time. 1 minute 15.621. Davin, how does that go up against your best time around this circuit?
Well, time trial, I think the best I could manage was a 108.8. So we are still about 7 seconds away from the optimal conditions. So times would still tumble every now and then. Yes, and as we say that, Streeter now goes fastest with a 15.4. Times are just gonna keep tumbling. I'm expecting a pole around a 109 or 108 here, and drivers are slowly finding limits. And Cuba Abi there, just a moment as I was riding with him, taps the wall of champions, but still manages to put it on P1 for now.
Yep,
won't be long before it's toppled.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what kind of lap time Horning's going to put on the board. He's on the medium, so he'll be the first driver out on track on the mediums to set one, as his teammate comes out of the pits on mediums as well. So we did see them in Baku trying to give each other a tow, and maybe it didn't work out in their favor. So they're going to try this time around in Canada.
Yeah, and the Canada back straight is probably the only place where you can really make up a lot of time on the straight, but it's a perfect place though, I must say, because it's towards the end of the lap, and if you can really coordinate it right, and gain about 3 to 4 tenths on the back straight alone with that tow, and right after that, the person who provides the tow can start their lap as well. So a bit of a team play definitely coming in for the drivers who have their teammate around with them today.
And what's
sets a 15.6?
Yeah,
with the mediums.
And yeah, what's to say? Yeah, what's to say? Even the Ferrari boys don't try their hand at it. We haven't seen a lap time from neither Envy nor Hyriox 24 so far. In sector 2 and 3, light up yellow. Who's that? Just slow moving cars.
McLaren just slowing down. Yeah,
yeah,
this
right.
is Scouts on his in lap.
All right. So slow moving cars for now. Just 5 lap times on the board. 10 minutes left to qualify, and I think the rain has stopped completely.
Yep, that's a good news. So we will start to see some more lap times coming in. Lap times will tumble as well as we go on. And I think some of the big hitters are yet to show up on track. Envy now is on an outlap. UK has joined the session as well. We'll be going out for a lap. Derp still in the pits. ADB, speaking of big hitters, hits a big one home, 12.7. But I don't think that's the best time yet.
Yeah, with 10 minutes left to show qualifying, I'm pretty sure it's only going to get better and better. But KDB, to his credit, he's been incredibly strong around Canada. Last time around, I believe it was Eccentric who ended up winning the Canadian GP, or Oxygen, if I'm not wrong. Horning sets a 1 minute 12.347 on the mediums. As I say that, Andre gets a bit more closer as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Dub
goes at 10.7, so that's more like it, I think. So yeah, so the times are starting to drop down. We'll see that drivers will start to probably consider the mediums as well for their second runs. Those who have done on their first on the softs, so they do have the speed advantage now, given that the track is evolving. So maybe we'll see some more mediums coming on, but looks like as it stands, everyone's just preferring the softs to start off.
Yeah, probably best time to get on board. Big man Joe, he's on his out lap. He's going to start a fast lap soon enough. KDB 1 minute 10.590 on the board. It's his track. We've known that KDB does incredibly well around street circuits. Maybe it's been taken away from him this season. Hopefully he can do better here today.
Yep, Canada is a partial street track made up of some natural roads and also some man-made roads. So this track probably favors him as well. It's half street, so maybe he will do it well. As you see, Big Man Joe coming into the first sector, sets a 19.8. Pretty respectable time. There's definitely more time to be found, and ooh, a bit squiggly there onto the the one of the second DRS zones that we have in this track. Another chicane comes up very quickly in Canada. Left, right, throw the car in, get on the exit curbs, and heading down into the hairpin. What's the split time going to be? 42.1. And how does he take this apex? Pretty late apex though. It gets him the best exit possible onto the back straight. And looky, there are cars ahead of him. Will they get out of the way? Will he get a tour of it? I doubt it's too far for him. Into the wall of champions, last chicane. Takes it very safely, very safely. You don't want to beat it on your first attempt. Oxygen, his teammate, sets a 9.9. Big Man Joe comes across, set a 10.6. Lap times are starting to fall. So I think we're getting closer to the optimal time here. Will we see a 108 this time?
Yeah, we've got ample amounts of time, so definitely we just might. Oxygen, someone who's a race winner here in the Canadian track in the Bwoah Racing League. He sets provisional pole so far, so it might just be Red Bull's day after all.
Too early to say though. As you can see, there are still 5 drivers who haven't set a time. 2 of those being UK and Envy. Those are possible podium contenders and also pole contenders over here. So yeah, they're yet to set a time. I think they're just taking their time around the track, getting used to the conditions, and will bang in a fast one at the end. Sector 1 lights up yellow and seems like an Alfa Romeo is just making some way for other drivers there.
Yeah, just under 7 minutes left to short qualifying to end, and we've got Sicknig who sets the second fastest lap time on the board. Rather interesting on his part. His teammate considerably slower than you'd expect him to be, but that was just a single lap time he set earlier on into the session, and he's still in the pits, baby Shumi. So yeah, let's stay on board RB Ferrello. He's set to finish his lap time soon enough.
Yep, I'm watching on board with Gouts though. It's going very quickly. He's possibly close to 109. Oh, that's very close. A 10.2 for him goes P2 for now.
Yeah.
RB Ferrello, what about him?
Yeah, on the final corner, RB Ferrello fumbled and cut a corner, so that lap got invalidated instantly. Something to point out, UK seems to have retired from the session. I don't know if that's a voluntary one, but 1 minute 15.172 gives him 11th fastest so far on the board.
Yeah, and his car seems to be stranded on the road. So I think he might have just retired voluntarily there. And has been having some connection issues maybe. So we will be seeing him at the end of the session, but unfortunately that means he will be starting last for today.
Unfortunately for UK, he's coming out quite 2 brilliant weekends, if I might say. 2 incredible race wins in the season. A long time coming for him. Gouts went second fastest on the board, and as I say that, Cuba Rabi goes fastest with 5 minutes left to short qualifying. It's 1 minute 9.951, the time to beat.
Yeah, and it's only 2 thousandths faster than Oxygen's fastest lap, so it's pretty close up there. And with track evolving ever so more towards the end of the session, this time will get closer and closer. Will we see a 0.8? Will we see drivers within a tenth of each other? I doubt this is esports level, but with given how much risk you have to take in this track, just taking the extra little bit of risk and sending it around the lap, you might just stick it on pole.
Yep, might just. Back on board, KDB, he's on a fast lap. Let's see if he can grab that coveted pole position. Purple sector 1.
Yes, RB Ferrello. I have to cut you off there. RB Ferrello seems to have lost his car in around turn 5. At the end of sector 1, he's lost it, and there goes his qualifying.
Yeah, I saw him exiting the final corner after having lost out on slipstream from Andre. Andre did a cheeky slow move and off the racing line just to ensure he cuts off that slipstream for RB Ferrello. And as I say that, sector 2 lights up purple for KDB, but I think that's been snatched away as well. Sector 2 and 3 go yellow. Will this hinder KDB in any way? I doubt it, but he looks incredibly fast out there. 1 minute range already, penultimate and final corners on the main straight. What kind of lap time that on the board?
Goes P1.
There you
There
go.
we go. 9.7 comes from KDB. 3 minutes to go.
Yep. Whole track map lights up purple. Just under 4 minutes left. Andre goes 4th fastest. Gouts 5th fastest. So they're set for a good start in the race. But yeah, a lot of drivers still yet to set a lap time. Both the Ferrari drivers. Envy Haradox hasn't set a single time on the board,
Yeah.
Dalvin.
I have my eyes on Dub though. He has improved 7/10 by the end of Sector 2 and he's on the back straight now. Coming to the final chicane. How much will he risk it into the wall of champions? Whoa, very, very risky there. But he sends it through. Can this be a pole? It looks like it's going to be a pole position. Across the line, it is only P3. Sets a similar lap time as Kubarabi. 2 drivers on the same time. That puts 3 drivers within 2,000ths of each other. Wow. Very close.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Qualifying already, 3 minutes left. And let's quickly switch to Baby Shumi. He's on a fast lap, but he just started it and it's going incredibly slow in Sector 1 already. Let's quickly switch to Big Man Joe as well. He's just entered Sector 3 on a fast lap.
Yep, Big Manjo. Right ahead of him is Envy though, who is setting his first lap. So let's see how much Envy can perform with this only single, I'd say. But you know, only 1 lap time to put in, and he banks in a pole. 9.3 for now. Provisional pole goes to Envy. Big Manjo, what can he do though? He dash into the pits immediately.
Yeah, he's gone into the pits. Sickening and Baby Shumi 9th and 10th fastest for the team. Not an ideal start, but you see Freeze in the top 6. He's 6th fastest. And 2 minutes left to short qualifying. I'll be surprised if KDB doesn't come out sooner than later.
Yep. He just has enough time to make it through. But as you mentioned though, Freeze, I think he's on a cooldown lap or probably just invalidated his lap of that. So that will be the end of his lap for now. Still has another lap to set if he wants to recharge and go again. Let's see if he goes for it or is he going to dive into the pits. And it looks like the pits is it. Yep, so that's the end of Freeze's qualifying. P7 for now for him.
I mentioned Sicknig was 9th fastest. Scratch that, he's 2nd fastest out on track. Sector 3 lights up yellow. That's a slow moving horse, I presume. A bit of contact with the wall for Sicknig, isn't it?
Yep, just as we talked about him.
Yeah. Hopefully.
KDB is out on track once again, so looks like he has timed this well. He has just enough time to make it around the circuit. It's less than 130 to get around on an out lap, so I think he might have just timed this just well. He has to push a little just to make sure he gets through quickly.
Yep. So is Big Man Joe. He's on an outlap as well, and so is Oxygen. So we're going to see a lot of switching of positions on the board. 50 seconds to end short qualifying. Soon enough, it will end, and the bunch of drivers will set their last laps in qualifying, and we'll be set for the race. Envy on provisional pole. His teammate all the way down in 16th fastest, having not set a lap time. Sicknig enters the pit, so that's qualifying end for him. He's 2nd fastest, but can he keep it? KDB, he's coming off the penultimate and final corners real fast as he starts his fast lap. Kubarabi goes 2nd fastest, so Sicknig drops a position already.
Yep. Well, as we said, track evolution, especially after the end of the small rain period, is really helping on the drivers who are still out on track. So there's ever so much opportunity for everyone over here to snatch a pole away from Envy or even snatch away the front row. KDB enters first sector, up 2/10 already. Just needs to find 2 or 3 more and that will put him on pole.
Ooh.
A bit squiggly, hits the wall though. How much will that cost him? Is that damage to his front left wing? Or is that just enough for him to make it through? Chicane coming up, left, right. Very cautious. Probably lost an end plate there.
This is an opportunity for the likes of Kubarabi, Oxygen, and Big Man Joe, and the likes of Gouts as well. They're all on fast laps. Envy can't set a lap time, a better lap time, 1 minute 9.327. He is on provisional pole so far. It's the likes of these drivers who can snatch it away from him. I'm surprised how Gouts started a fast lap time, but KDB has in sector 3.
Yep, KDB was down a 10th by the end of sector 2, presumably because of the wing damage, and now he looks like he's not gonna be able to beat his lap time. And no, he can't beat it. Next across the line, Oxygen has actually invalidated his lap, so that will be his end as well. Big Man Joe, who's going across the start-finish line. What can he do? Big Man Joe,
He got
across the line. Oh, just P10.
10th
Just
fastest.
P10.
Yeah, 10th
Yep.
fastest. And Gauss heads in a pit, so that's the end of his qualifying as well. That means Envy takes pole position in Canada.
Yep. And interestingly, with only one attempt, he nailed it. So, I guess this man doesn't need a full qualifying or short qualifying. Just give him a one shot and he delivers. His teammate, though, on the other end of the grid, Harry Rocks, it was only one run for him as well, but invalidated on the final corner. So there we go, folks. 16 drivers on track. Looks like that's the end of it. What? Interesting grid I think we have for today. New year, new race. I guess some drivers are gonna adopt the new year, new me thing. Will we see some, improved performances from some of the drivers who are yet to turn up in the league? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for the race. I think there are going to be battles from the front all the way to the back. Because look at who's starting at the back. It's RB Ferrello in UK with the likes of Hyrox 24. And up in front, you got Cuba Rabi. Really unfortunate that he is on the front row yet again, but not for his team. That would have been a good points haul in the constructors, I'm sure. Gouts and Andre also on track in the top 10. Big man Joe starts in the midfield, probably not where he'd like to, but he is regardless. KDB, he's on the third row alongside the likes of Dub.
Yep, and I'd say track position doesn't matter too much in this track because of the variety of strategies that you can take into the race. One stop, two stop, everything is possible. Even a three, if you want to consider the intervention of safety cars and DSCs. So drivers will definitely keep their eyes peeled for these opportunities to get a jump on one another.
Well, it's been a long time, at least for me. Probably not that long time, but a few races at least since I've been in the formation lap of a Bwoah Racing League race. So I'm looking forward to that. So far, clear skies as it looks like it. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get to see a bit of rain at the end. Maybe
Yeah, maybe, just maybe. The clouds are still sky blue, and doesn't suggest there's a weather coming in. So let's see what the drivers are starting on. So of course we know the top 10 are going to go for the soft tires. That's what they qualified on. And look at that, we have one odd guy, Streeter there in the Haas, choosing to start on the in the Haas, starting on the hards. Well, that's a tongue twister for you guys. Uh, well, that caught me off guard. And RB Fellow now jumps on the mediums as well. So a good choice coming in from the drivers at the back of the grid. So Streeter on the hards though, yeah, that might not be the smartest choice in Canada where it's pretty difficult to get the tires fired up. But nevertheless, I think it's an interesting choice for even for those who are outside the top 10. To start on the softs. Interesting. Streeter now, I think he might have heard us. He's on the mediums now. So there we go. So no more tongue twisters for you guys. So Haas on hards. Well, Haas on the mediums now.
uh, maybe they'll switch over to the hards. I think Kuberabi is racing for Haas out on track as well today. He's stepping in as reserve driver, kind of Nishant. I don't think Wex is out on track, is he? No, he's not.
Vex is not here today, so
Neither is Avi.
Abi indeed.
Yeah, neither is Avi. So
Abi and Streeters. So
makes
two
sense.
reserve drivers for the Haas team.
even UT, he's missed out on the Canadian GP as well. So it's just KDB for the Aston team. Even Dark Legacy, he's not out on track. So no wonder. 16 drivers out on track. It's the formation lap of the Canadian GP of the Bwoah Racing League. And I'm looking forward to this race. Turn one.
And turn one, I have no idea what's going to happen, but someone in the chat, Side Effects, is asking for a prediction for the Wall of Champions. Sorry,
Ooh.
sir. You know how it works with commentators. If we say it, it's probably going to turn out bad, so let's just say yes.
I already got a text from UK who's starting P15. He already says that it's because I'm commentating. He's jinxed for this race. He's coming out of two wins. I'm pretty sure he was aiming for a hat trick of sorts. Probably not on the cards, or maybe it is. Who knows? 35 laps.
Yeah, 35 laps is pretty long way to go in Canada. It's well, if you played 100% on this track, you definitely know that it's very fuel hungry circuit, but luckily we are on 50%. So, drivers can play around with the fuel, overfuel a little bit here and there, and yeah, get the race going for a long time. But as we know, no more rich mix. So whatever you have on the car, in the car, that's what you gotta manage with. So drivers are on the final sector, on the final back straight, and weaving their tires not too aggressively. The soft runners, I think they are self-aware that these softs has to go the distance to make it at the end of the first stint.
Yeah, and soon enough, we'll have all the drivers on their grid spots and we'll be ready for a race. Weird predicted stop strategy on my screen said a 4-stop. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I'm just getting 2 stops on my screen.
Oh,
A soft
okay.
medium, medium, and a hard medium, medium. But yeah, I
Got it.
think it's not too far-fetched to say 4 stops might be a thing if we get some ungodly interventions around here. But there we go, Sartik.
Yeah.
Take it away
Yeah.
for the 5 lights once again.
Yeah, 5 red lights will come on soon. Late lunges into turn 1 now, customary in Canada. Let's see, going into turn 1, who's gonna get it off the line? And Envy's got a brilliant start. Kuberabi as well. It's the second row who's got an even better start. Kuberabi threatened for position, but not so much. Envy pulls away brilliantly. Signig and P4, and they go wheel to wheel in the midfield. Oxygen, Derp, and the likes of Gouts and Big Man Joe.
Yeah, on the back though, Harry Rocks getting a good start as well from the last position. He's up now into P12, making a good start here. A very good launch as well. Now is battling for P13 with Horning side by side with him. Oh, and Horning just pulls ahead safely.
Oh, late lunge around the outside. Bit of contact as well from Arox ready for 2. Horning, but up ahead, I saw Derp and Oxygen tangling for position, where it's the back of the pack where positions are switching real quick as UK climbs up into P13 and he's chasing down Horning now.
Yeah, he made a good pass on Harry Rocks. Down the inside he went and defended his position successfully.
And yeah, contact between Oxygen and Derp. He somehow keeps it on track. Derp around the outside. They go wheel to wheel in Sector 3. It's a battle to the penultimate corner as Derp and Oxygen keep it wheel to wheel. No one's backing off as you'd expect them to battle, but going into the corner late, braking, and it's Derp who's gotten the position.
Yeah, and down the inside on the last corner, Horning go side by side, and they have contact coming into the Wall of Champions. The drivers have started to collide on the final sector as well, and you can see some drivers are just shuffling their positions and back. RB Fellow not finding a good start at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost out on that incident in the final corner, but Envy, he's pulled off a gap over a second now.
Yeah, 1 second might just be enough for now. But let's not forget that it's a long race to go, and yeah, anything can happen. So let's see some drivers. Oh, there's a Mercedes on the
spinning
the wrong side. That's Baby Shumi. Yes, it is Baby Shumi.
He's trying to get back on track. He's down to P16 now on lap number 2 already. It did seem like Oxygen up ahead was prepping for a move on Derp. He is within half a second. It's Baby Shumi losing out on positions.
Yep. And down in P12 and 13, these 2 veterans, UK and RB Fellow, lying up a move on each other. UK didn't find a good exit out of the hairpin, but no DRS just yet. But RB Fellow is on the charts. Look at that. He goes for a move down around the outside of UK into the last chicane, and he makes it stick. He makes it stick. To the Wall of Champions, he's ahead.
Yeah, going into turn 1, can UK fight for that position again? Derp losing out on position up ahead, however. Oh no, he's wheel to wheel with Freeze, as Freeze has managed to stay ahead, but it's Gouts cautiously watching. He wants both of them to fumble. 2 positions within 2 corners, perhaps.
Possible, but Derp just makes it out ahead. Lack of practice for him, as we know. This man has been on holidays, so he is finding a lot of cars behind him. Look at that, 5 cars right on his gearbox, ready to pounce on a mistake. Derp is really finding it difficult. Gouts comes around the outside with DRS, goes around the outside and makes the mistake. And then
contact
spot to make an overtake.
Yeah, but that 5-way battle is getting intense. There was contact between Big Man Joe and Derp as well. Freeze ended up losing 2 positions, and now he finds himself down in P12. Around the outside goes Arox 24. He's up a position. Took it too far, Andre. He's gone down positions as he tried a move around the outside on Big Man Joe. This is not a 5-car battle anymore. It's turning into a 8-car battle, Dalvin.
Freeze has lost. Yep. And all of that, Freeze has lost even more position. Down to P15 he is now.
Yeah, and Dup enters the pits as Big Man Joe shoots it. He's cut the corner as well. He's going to lose positions to UK. RB Ferrero up ahead as well. And it's Hyrox 24. He's on a charge. He takes the fight now to Oxygen. And he's trying his best to get the move done. No, he's going to stay behind. He's threatened for position by the likes of RB Ferrero as well. And Big Man Joe now in the opportunistic position of watching this pan out in front of him.
Yeah, interesting to see all these big hitters at the back fighting it out with each other. Oxygen, Hyrox, RB Philly, UK, Big Man Joe, Honing, everyone. All 6 guys with, just next to each other on the track trying to make moves. At the same time, they're just holding on each other and hold that thought. Honing makes a move on Big Man Joe. In a non-conventional spot, once again the DRS proved to be very powerful. Good exit, and he gets it done.
And with Horning went Streeter, Big Man Joe down to P12 now as Streeter up ahead as well. Andre will be looking to get that position soon enough, but it's a 1.5 second gap to close. Up ahead it's Oxygen, Hyrox 24 and RB Ferrero, all within a second of each other, and UK is coming close too.
Yeah, and you look at that starter. P1, Cuba RB has managed to catch up back to NB, so I'm pretty sure NB, it's not the kind of guy to make mistakes, but it had probably have happened, and Cuba is now within DRS range of NB. Will we see a move coming in for the lead?
Yeah, hopefully the battle's as spicy as it is in the midfield. Hyrox 24 staying on the tail of Oxygen, and he takes it to Gout. Sickening racks up a 3-second time penalty, the first out on track. Big Man Joe heads into the pits, and so does Andre. They're down in P13 and 14 respectively, and that's a spin for Hyrox 24.
Yep. Oh my goodness, I'm getting flashbacks from my own race. I had a similar spin and that's not gonna be looking nice. Hopefully he's out on track and safe without any damage. He resumes the race and looks like he still has a full set of wing to go around the track.
Unfortunately for him though, he was on quite the charge. Now it's all down to Oxygen and Gouts and RB Ferrello. They were within a second of each other, and I've lost times on my board. Hopefully it's on yours.
I have lost times as well, but as we can see, there are some interesting battles forming on 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are fighting as well, and then next up is Gauss holding on a mega train all the way down to P10. 5 to 10, that's a big long train to go.
Mind you, looking at all these guys taking a wheel-to-wheel lap after lap, you look at RB Ferrello, he's poised for quite the position. He takes a wheel-to-wheel with Oxygen, and into turn 1, he's got to get it done, and he will. He's up in a P6. Next up is Gouts, and he's on the mediums, mind you.
Yeah, and RB Ferrello, as you see, a really good racecraft from this guy. Time and time, once again, we have seen how he has shown his racecraft. Not the best in qualifying, but you can know this racecraft is the one that is taking him further up ahead. Gouts, yep.
Envy is losing position. After position, sector 2 lit up yellow as well, so there's been an incident. Does he have both in place?
There's a front wing. I saw a front wing dropped off somewhere, so that must be Envy's front wing. Yeah. And let's see if he's going into the pits immediately.
And as we say that, Derp picks up the 3-second time penalty. RB Ferrello, he's ahead of the traffic. He's in P5 right now.
Yep. Gouts as well making a move on Oxygen into the hairpin, and Oxygen goes ahead in P6. Now up ahead of him is RB Fellow, but a little too far to make the move, at least for this corner.
UK on the gearbox of Gouts and into the penultimate corner. He's going to attempt around the outside. He's got the gap late, breaking into that one. Gouts stays ahead. UK is going to try his best to keep it clean so that into turn 1, he's got the advantage, and on the gearbox lines up right alongside him, and late breaking into it. He's up a position just like that.
Yep, UK up into P6 now, and all the while, our former race leader NB has boxed for a new set of wings and medium tires, so he will be mounting a charge. All at the meantime, Kubarabi now inherits the lead of the race. Will he be able to keep it clean up in front though and keep it safe? KDB 3 seconds behind him. Not looking like he's catching any closer, but the gap still remains the same.
Yeah, and the midfield gap's not extended too much. They're all within a second of each other, P5 to P8 at least. And it's Streeter who's joined the battle.
Yeah, and I think the tires are starting to come into their own terms as well. These medium runners are starting to make positions on these soft runners. So the softs, after 6 laps and have done a qualifying lap at least, they are falling off. And might have been a right timing for Envy to box as well. Perhaps he can get an undercut on the drivers who have lost positions who has lost positions. And yeah, medium drivers, I think, likes of RB Fellow, Streeter as well, was almost making a move on Gouts. Let's see if he can make it stick though.
Oh.
Into turn 1. They're coming side by side, and there we go. He makes a move. Horning has retired, and then brings out a safety car.
Yeah, and as you spoke about Streeter and Gout, so did the likes of Oxygen or Abi Ferrero, I presume. And yeah, he's up in a P4, but safety car. How much does this change things?
Yeah, I think Horning might have been the first victim of the wall of change.
Yeah. Davin, if you're still with us. Yeah, a lot of audio issues on your side, Davin, but yeah, we did see Horning on the main straight without a front wing. Wall of Champions has taken the first driver out on track today on lap number 8. Safety car, full safety car out on track. Kuberabi leads this race with the likes of KDB right behind.
Yep, and if you can hear me,
yeah,
something
perfect.
that would be great. So there we go. All right, just some, normal mic issues, nothing new. And I think this is just the opportunity the front runners were waiting for. Perhaps just a little too unlucky for NB. One lap later and he would have been safe. But there we go. Kuberabi, KDB, Sicknick, they're all coming into the pits. They know this is the perfect opportunity to get on their first stop.
Yep, Oxygen.
On
yeah, Oxygen heads in as well. Abi Ferrello inherits the race lead for now. Kuberabi's on a fresh set of mediums. KDB follows that sweep. And just like that, so will Sicknig. And yep, just like dominoes, each one of them fit on the same set of tires.
Yep. Oh, look at that on the exit of the pit lane. Kuberabi almost got a jump on RB Fellow. As we know, guys, this Canadian pit stop is pretty short. So, you can get a cut at turn 1 and Kuberabi almost made it out in front. That would have been a lottery for him in case, he got a lead after making a safety car pit stop. RB Fellow, though, lucky for now to inherit the lead.
I'm surprised how we haven't heard from Richu anything happening in the comms yet. Hopefully we will, because look at him, he's in P6 right now. Quite the position. He's on 2 lap hole mediums, which is pretty decent tire life for the mediums to start off with. We did see, on lap number 4 or so, Abi Ferrello really charging up the track in the midfield at least. So maybe we'll see a similar outing by the likes of Envy soon enough.
Yep, everyone. I think everyone. Yeah, it is everyone on the medium tires. Yep. You are right. So it is proving to be the best race tire in this track for now, in the middle part of the race at least. And drivers would still have to make another stop, looks like it, because these tires would not give you the pace to go till the end. The question would be, if race goes on normally, what is the tire strat for the last part of the race? You want to go in the softs and charge through, or do you want to keep it safe and go on the mediums? So, well, we'll find out shortly once the safety car is in. All drivers are bunched up, so we will have one more lap of running under the safety car, and we will resume the race at the end of lap 10.
Yeah, and probably drivers to look out for, definitely the likes of Envy, Freeze and Big Man Joe, all on mediums that have lasted quite a bit of laps already. So they just might be at the perfect point in the race to make the moves and go up the pack.
Yeah, and look
Oxygen,
at that. What's happening
Envy.
with Oxygen? Yep, something's naughty going on there, and he picks up a 5.
Yeah.
What's happening there? I think Oxygen might have just lost concentration. He's
Perhaps
going a little too slow for liking there earlier, and unfortunate for him, I think Envy's picked up a 5 out of that. So that's probably going to be contested and served in the pit lane.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be. Yeah, unusual. He just weaved to the left. Might have not seen Envy, perhaps. Who knows? Yeah, the safety car remains on lap number 10.
Yep, and quick penalty situation here. Oxygen and Envy has 8 seconds of time penalties. 3 coming from corner cuts and 5 from that unfortunate taps that they had. Other drivers, Sicknick, Baby Shumi and Derb as well on 3-second penalties. So safety car is in this lap. So, if Envy had any plans to serve that 5 and get it out of his way, that might have been foiled by the safety car in.
Yep. Abi Ferrello restarting a race under safety car once the safety car goes in. We did see this perhaps in Imola, if my memory serves me right. Imola.
Well, I have a bad memory, but I know RB Fellow has restarted a lot of safety cars as well, and he's good at doing some. and probably did not do so well in probably places like Baku where it's a pretty long straight. But here, Canada, last corner, pretty short run to turn 1, slightly edge tires. Will he get a pull away?
Just might,
Cooper
maybe.
Abbey is very, very close to him.
So is KDB. So is KDB. Top 3 without a single penalty. RB Ferrero, we've seen him back the whole field up last time around Baku. And it caused the incidents that it did. But it's a restart. A brilliant one for RB Ferrero.
Yep. And pulls away immediately. So far, nothing happening into turn 1. Just some drivers finding it hard to get it through. Oh, Durb's losing some positions to Big Man Joe. And yeah, Baby Shumi is trying to push through as well.
UK taking the fight to Gouts, trying to line a move on him, try to pull up alongside him, will try once again into sector 2 as they enter sector 2 soon enough, and into the next corner, UK's upper position just like that.
Yep, Gouts wasn't giving up, but there's no space for him on the inside, so and he's dropping some positions, drop another position to Street as well. Big Man Joe makes a move around him as well. Gouts losing 3 positions in 2 corners. That's not so good restart of him.
Yeah, he's probably going to lose a bit more as well. Dub's coming and charging onto him with the likes of Freeze right behind, so not really going well out there for the likes of Gouts. Dub tries down the inside.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's up a position already. Oh, in the back, Freeze and Irox trying for go wheel to wheel, and so does the likes of Andre and Baby Shumi.
Yeah, but it's a good place to make a dive down the inside or around the outside and get a good exit. And the drivers are really showing us how to do it on the track. And first lap after safety car restart comes to an end. No casualties yet at the Wall of Champions. And RB Fellow leads his first lap in this race.
Yeah, 11 lap over mediums, not the greatest of experiences out there, maybe perhaps considering Cuba Rabi on the gearbox of RB Ferrello in that sector 1 part of the track, and he's going to stay within half a second of RB Ferrello 14. Sector 3 might just be where Cuba Rabi is going to make a move.
Yeah, and with this better tire life that Cuba Rabi has, he just has to stick close to RB Ferrello and onto the back straight. I think he might just get a better exit. And RB Fellow there runs wide. This might just be the opportunity Cuba is waiting for. He's not waiting for the back straight. He's going for it now. Side by side, into the hairpin. What's going to come out? Who's going to break later? Looks like they're just breaking about the same time. Cuba Rabi goes around the outside on their hairpin. Can he get a better exit? He gets a better exit onto the back straight. He goes into the lead of the race for the first time. And Cuba Rabi has disconnected from the session. That's unfortunate for him. RB Fellow back into the lead as well.
And Envy, he's gotten a move done on KDB, or is trying to around the outside. He does. KDB tucks right behind of Envy on the gearbox and on the main straight. It's not going to be enough. KDB settles for P3 so far on lap number 13 as it begins. Oxygen as well, all within half a second of each other. This is absolute brilliancy in the front.
Yeah, I wonder though, do we have like a mass disconnection here? Because 3 drivers have just disconnected in a space of 3 seconds there. UK disconnected, and I'm not sure. Cuba Rabi, who was in the lead, has disconnected as well. One more driver has disconnected, so we'll wait to see if there's a restart, but let's hope that's not the case. And these drivers are just having a little connection on their side, not the game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Freeze has gone off though.
Yeah, but in the front it's Envy around the outside of RB Ferrello. He retakes the race lead, and he is going to pull away as much as he can because he knows KDB and Oxygen are charging onto RB Ferrello as well.
Yep. Ooh, very close. KDB gets to the rear of RB Ferrello, but DRS is enabled, so RB Ferrello can fend off KDB perhaps just for one more lap. Envy has already pulled off almost a second of a gap, but RB Ferrello is pulling back the gap with the power of the DRS. He closes back to about 3/10 into that Wall of Champions he goes, and still within 6/10. That's a pretty good gap. But looks like KDB now doesn't want to wait around. Will he look for a move down the inside? It's a little too far away.
Oxygen dives down the inside.
Oxygen dives it, yeah.
They're going to stay.
Makes it stick.
Yeah, they're going to stay alongside each other for just that much more longer. But yeah, KDB holds on to that P3 position. This should give Sicknick some time to close in as well. KDB racks up a 3-second time penalty in the process of that battle.
Yeah, Sarthak. And then just quick updates for the 3 drivers that have disconnected are Cuber, RB, Derb, and also UK. So as we can see, their cars are ghosted, and drivers around them are making moves. So some free positions to be gained here. While everyone's sorting out their connections, but look at that, Oxygen once again on the rear of KDB, and KDB on the rear of RB Fellow, 3 wide almost into the hairpin. Who's gonna come out ahead safely? Oxygen looking for a gap to go through, but there's no space coming up. Will this be a double overtake coming in? KDB, RB Fellow, and Oxygen, 3 drivers onto the back straight. Oxygen goes down the inside of RB Fellow. Can he make the move? Looks like he has managed to pull through. RB Fellow has to settle back with the aging tires, and Signic makes the move on RB Fellow as well. Opportunistic there. Very, very opportunistic from Signic.
Yeah, 3 positions within a sector for Abi Ferrero lost. He's down to P5 now. KDB his head's on the lead right now. I'm pretty sure he's got a 1.5 second gap to close in, and in the midfield, the gaps just as similar as we saw earlier on, all within half a second of each other.
Yeah, but guess what? Gouts once again forming up a train, and this time he's leading a train of himself, Big Manjo, Harry Rocks, and UK, and Andre is joined in as well, and Baby Shumi is not too far off.
Yeah, Big Man
is not too far off as well.
Yeah, Big Man Joe went a bit wide there, lost position to Irox 24, and UK is going to be closing in, but it's a ZI, so not much to see there. And as it sits, KDB tries his best to close that gap with Oxygen on his tail.
Yep, 6 tenths of a gap coming onto the back straight. I think KDB has this settled for 1 lap at least, but look at that on the straight. KDB is pushing hard to close back the gap on Envy. Both drivers on similar levels of battery, so look like it's gonna be a battle of who's faster on track. With 2 laps fresh tires, KDB starts to make inroads on Envy.
Yeah. Let's quickly switch to Streeter on the main straight. RB Ferrello threatened for position soon enough.
He's down. He's going down the order. What has happened to me? He is the second victim of the Wall of Champions. He has crashed it, and looks like there's a second safety car being called out.
Much similar to the way Awning went out, and unfortunately for Irox 24, he was on the charge of his own as well. He was up in the top 7 at least, and it's another safety car, as you pointed out, Dalvin. How much of a difference this is going to make for the midfield runners?
Well, not much, but I think the likes of Andre, Big Man Joe, and especially RB Fellow, who have been on much older mediums, especially RB Fellow. He's on 15-lap old mediums. This will be his one and only chance to make a pit stop. Question though, will you want to go on the hards to end the race? Because those are not the best race tires, but they will go the distance. And perhaps, just perhaps, he might just do his mandatory pit stop on the softs and go back onto the mediums, but be risking it, starting last at the end of the safety car.
And also, go ahead. Do we have Richu with us?
No, this is UK. I think the lobby is placed for a few, like more than 5 guys. I think KDB's game crashed or something, so they requested.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we did notice that at around lap 12. So yeah, folks, we will be back shortly to decide what's happening.
Yeah.
Is this
folks, we're back. We're back with the race. It's a race restart, so we start all the way from lap number 1. We get to see the drivers out on track, perhaps on a formation lap, but it says it's migrating host already, so it worries me already. KDB has left the session. We might just have another lobby restart, folks.
Oh, goody. Well, that's what you expect from the game, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, soon enough we'll find out. Regardless, I wonder who the second person to enter the lobby was, because he is lobby leader now. But yeah, so much for any of our predictions. We did see quite the battles up in front, didn't we?
Yeah, I think with this restart, that might be a good reset for the drivers to rethink their strategies and their approach for these battles. Let's see if they take it from there with this short 15 laps we had. If there's anything to be learned from there, and drivers perhaps can make a bit of a better decision on track as well. So let's see. It's also an opportunity for the drivers who have DNF'd earlier, so it's a reset for them. Maybe see a good performance when a win or a podium from them. That'll be a crazy comeback story to talk about, to go down in the history books.
Yeah, seems like we're having a new lobby regardless, Davin, and we'll talk about those 15 laps soon enough, because I'm excited to see them go out and for another 15 laps, and of course 35 lap race. We get to see them in action yet again. I did get word from the likes of Sicknick, who felt the battle in the front of the pack, which is the top 5, battling it out. He found himself there as well. Felt a bit like F1 esports level, at least in terms of pace. Everyone was matched equally well.
Yeah, and I think part of the factor that contributes to that is the 3 DRS zones that we have here. And having a good setup to follow through the corners, I think, is something that some drivers have prioritized. And taking advantage of the 3 DRS zones to stick within the car in front and make a move when it matters. And not just making a move and making it and sticking it till the end as well without losing further time.
Yeah, precisely. And with the likes of Envy on pole yet again, and Kuberabi on the front row alongside of him, one can only say how interesting the restart of the race. I'd usually say that right after safety car, but now we find ourselves jumping onto a new lobby yet again.
How your league race?
How your league race has been going, Dalvin?
Well, it's pretty much off season for most of the leagues around the world at this point of time. So it's it's an off season, so you don't really do much apart from the administration stuff like recruiting new drivers, having some off season shenanigans like playing in other race titles or even other game titles, away from racing, and that's what we've been really spending our time mostly on. But it's interesting to see that new drivers are coming into the league, and some are showing potential. Probably we never know. A young 14-year-old guy might be an esports contender in 5 years to come. We'll be happy to accommodate all those talents. Even here in BRL, we welcome everyone.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, the likes of Derp, who's probably under 15, if I'm not wrong. Even him, he's incredibly quick already. If he is willing to put in the time, it's what's to say he can't compete at that level. And as I say that, we get that lobby invite we've been waiting for.
Yep, there we go. And just about time. Let me restart my game as well, just to clear off any issues from the game side. And we are back. Yeah, but like you mentioned, Sarthak, I think it's easy for drivers to get up to a certain level, like we have seen our top runners do. But to really take it a step further to get into the esports level, I think that's where a lot of drivers face the issues in terms of commitment and life decisions. So it's not normal to be putting in about 5 to 10 hours daily to just find that every single thousandth on the track to be the fastest. But the likes of our esports champions like Jan Opmeer, Brendan Lee, Taniza, and even the entire esports grid itself, it's a grid full of aliens. These are the people who have put in hours and the real life teams have recruited them into the esports scene. So just shows how much effort they have to put in just to get to that, probably top 0.1% of the world. And yeah, if we do get those kind of drivers, I think we'd be happy to say, hey, he was with us, back then.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully, at least some of these drivers will at some point. The grind is real. 20 seconds for race start on my screen, and of course, tire choice wise, I think it's free choice for all 16 drivers out on track.
I'm not sure if it's a full restart. Usually is you follow whatever the qualifying order was. So that means the top 10 will have to be starting on their soft. So the remaining 6, I think they have a free choice of tires. They would have an option to go for a different strategy or even the same one. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, looking forward to it as the formation lap begins. This time around, the predicted pit stop strategy was right. Last time around, it showed me a ironical three stop. Yeah, proper 3 stop. But a little, it just looked messed up. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, Envy on pole position, Kuberabi on the front row alongside him. Sicknig finds himself on second row alongside likes of KDB. It says Gauts has been disqualified. Don't you worry, folks. That's only for the formation lap. He'll be on his grid box right now. Unfortunately for him, he won't be able to heat up his tires. So midfield position is up for grabs.
Yeah, and you don't want to really be disqualified in the formation lap, do you? That just means your tires are going to be stone cold at the start.
Oh, there you go.
And that's just a bad news because you're going to be losing positions, cold tires, and yeah, more chances of things going wrong. Like a spin into turn 1. I wouldn't want to say it, but it can happen.
Yeah, mind you, there's 2 drivers now who've been disqualified and sitting with cold tires on their grid box. Yeah, midfield, not something you'd want to see, but regardless, hopefully Freeze has an opportunity to get through the chaos early on, and Big Manjo will keep it clean, we know that. But for the rest of the drivers, I mean, not taking anything away from them, but anything's possible. Hopefully they're mindful enough to know there are 2 drivers in the midfield with cold tires out on their grid boxes.
Yep, and looks like we have 3 drivers only who have decided to start on the medium. So pretty much like we had on the first proper start of the race. Honing, Streeter, and RB Fellow, 3 guys on the mediums. They'll be looking to go long this time after learning, how these tires behaved for about 15 laps. So I think they have a good idea of what's going to come. And might I say, Honing might just score a good podium here if he's, keeping his wits right on the track. Let's see.
Yeah. Early on. It's a sort of redemption for the 2 drivers who ended up retiring early on. Hydrox 24 and Honing. They were probably the wrong choice of words, but Wall of Champions got lucky with them. Let's leave it at that. And yeah, we're all set for the race restart. We got Envy on pole position. Last time around, it was the second row that got an even better start than the first. And it was the midfield who battled their way through sector 1 wheel to wheel. But 5 lights come on, and it's lights out, and away we go. This time around, it's Envy who's gotten a fair enough start, and on the second row yet again, Sicknick taking that fight to give it up. It's 4 abreast into turn 1. Who's going to come out in front? It's the likes of Sicknig getting his nose in front, but it's Kuberabi coming back for the position. KDB is up the position. He's in a P3. Sicknig's not backing up either, and in the midfield they're wheel to wheel yet again like the last race restart, and it's Gauts falling down in position and Andre down to P12.
Yeah, and Sartek, all the while what that was happening, guess what? UK, I think, has intentionally chosen to not get off the line quickly, and he has just been biding his time, avoiding all the incidents. And out of that, he's just gained 1 position, but I think he's happy to gain that 1.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be glad about it. And up in front, Derp took the fight to the likes of Sicknig, and Derp's got company. He's got Oxygen on his tail. Oxygen, brave move down the inside, contact as well. Oxygen pushing Derp to the wall almost. It almost seemed like that incident with the likes of Envy, I presume, under safety car. But the battle continues up down into P12 as Big Man Joe takes the fight to the likes of Irox 24. Maybe the other way around. Two Red Bulls in on one straight. Just might be as Irox 24 jumps into P8. I think Oxygen's holding back to give the position back to Dub perhaps, but he tumbles down the order. He goes into the pits.
Well, look at that. RB Fellow making a triple move coming out of the last chicane and almost makes it 3 on Baby Shumi as well. Wow, what has he been up to? Racecraft really is this guy's forte, and he's been showing it again. Up in P12, he goes UK up into P13 as well. Dub, as you mentioned, has gone into the pits. I think there's some early damage as well for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wonder what's happening to Oxygen. That seemed unusual, his incident with Derp, and I'm pretty sure that'll be raised to the stewards as well. Up in front, the gap is within a second of each other between the top 3, but it's Irox 24 in the midfield who finds himself within half a second of another driver. But okay, I need to be corrected. There's 2 drivers right behind him as well.
Yeah, but good start from him though, from P16 up into P8 now on the back of Horning. Right ahead of Horning as well is Gout. So both these drivers are missing their apexes. Harry Rocks now has to contend with a fast approaching Big Man Joe and Oxy in the Red Bull pair, not keeping it quiet. They are on the charge.
Horning taking the fight to Gout.
Yep. Oh, Horning loses the position there.
Yeah, it almost seemed like he could have gotten that position. Mind you, he's on the mediums, so maybe just not that easy. Irox 24 on the outside of Horning. He's on the fresher tires. They're wheel to wheel through sector 1. Irox 24 has his nose ahead, but it's Horning taking the fight back to him. Big Man Joe cautiously waiting and seeing how this battle turns out. Gouts is close as well. Irox 24, in the course of that battle, racks up a 3-second time penalty, and that midfield gap's not going anywhere between these drivers.
Yeah, and Horning now, he knows that these medium tires will come into play in about 3 to 4 laps time. That's where all the soft runners will start to drop like flies. And Big Man Joe, as you said, will be the next one to line up a move on Horning. Crucially though, DRS is enabled this lap, so Horning will have some lifelines to defend him against this charging Red Bull pair.
Yeah, just around the outside. Big Man Joe's waiting.
Taking a wide line. Yeah, very wide line.
Yeah, and he's going to wait. Sector 3 maybe will be the part of the track where he gets the move done. No, he's a bit too far off for his liking. And just like that, the positions remain the same unless Irox 24 lunges down the inside of Gauss. No, he doesn't. He's learnt from his previous experience. The Wall of Champions will catch him off guard. And up ahead, Kubarabi on the gearbox of Envy.
Yeah, interesting battle there. I just want to quickly just mention this as well. Gouts, once again, that's something that has not changed. He is forming another train. Yeah, but let's go back to the front. Kubarabi now, within 3/10 only of Envy, heading into this middle sector with the DRS. The first of the 3 DRS zones, or second you could say, keeps him within 2/10 of Envy now as we entered another chicane in Canada, which is pretty much a chicane circuit. And whoa, a little squiggly coming out of that chicane and into end of second sector. Envy is just right ahead of him, 2/10, and the gap is now less than half a 10. Now with DRS, Kubarabi, will he be able to make a move? Envy is ready, preparing, parks his car in the middle, it gets ready, he's ready, defending the inside. Will he go left or right? Kubarabi decides to go around the outside, leaves Envy at the back, and yeah, that's a move done from Kubarabi, takes the lead. And keeps his DRS as well. Good move there.
Textbook, as I like to say, but brilliant move as you pointed it out. KDB, he's close, he's not too far off, but Gout stumbles down the order as he heads into the pits, and the midfield battle continues without him.
Yeah, possibly an early change, but there's a wing change as well, so that might explain the early stop. Might be just a good undercut on the drivers in front of him or behind him, so he could get some clear running away from traffic, away from distraction, and put in some good lap times. But up ahead again, this time around, Envy gets the benefit of the DRS to follow Kubarabi through, but looks like Kubarabi just having that slight bit of extra pace to keep it faster through the corners, but not too far off.
Yeah.
Everyone's very close.
And in the back of the pack, we got some heavy hitters. UK, RB, Ferrello, they're going to go alongside each other soon enough. Gout seems to have retired.
Gouts. Yep. Safety car is out. Gouts has retired out of the pit lane.
And Gouts...
Oh, that's a very early safety car.
Yeah,
very early indeed.
Yeah, Gouts deprives us of a fantastic battle which was waiting to happen between UK, RB, Ferrello and Streeter.
Yeah, now let's see if these drivers would like to box. And yes, indeed, everyone's choosing to box and get rid of the soft tires. Jubarabi Envy's in, KB's in now. Sicknick's the next one to come across. He's in as well. Freeze is in as well. Looks like the pit lane's gonna get busy. Let's see, this double stacking update has worked in favor of all these drivers to reduce the waiting time that they have to spend in the pit lane. And looks like it's going well.
Yeah.
Rocks as well.
Horning stays out.
Into the pit lane.
Horning stays out. Streeter stays out. RB Ferrello stays out. And so does the likes of... Yeah, that's pretty much it. Andre stays out as well.
You know what?
What?
This is a carbon copy of the previous race. Look at that. Kubarabi, who was in the lead, comes out after the pit lane in P2. Almost got Horning as well. Oh, this is some deja vu that's happening. I think we're about to see some interesting restarts.
Yeah, definitely. We're in for a treat now, and I find it rather interesting that Andre decides to stay out on track with 5-lap-old softs on lap number 6.
Yeah, questionable decision there. Perhaps he wants to extend this soft stint, but these softs will not measure up against the faster pressure mediums behind him. So Andre might just have his boots filled on the safety car restart, and look at that. There's just like 10 drivers behind him waiting to pounce on a mistake, and he's not going to be a happy man if it turns out wrong.
Yep. Safety car on lap number 6. With the likes of Big Man Joe. He finds himself at the back of the pack with his teammate Oxygen and UK Derp as well. All these drivers were in the top 10 earlier on before this race restarts. So unfortunate for him, Andre finds himself in the top 6. But again, like I mentioned earlier on, he's on 5-lap-old softs. Envy in P8. Would you look at that?
Yeah, I think that safety car might have just caught him out a little bit, because there were some drivers who opted to stay out for the likes of Horning, Streeter, and RB Ferrello, the only 3 who started on the mediums, right? And given that how short the pit lane is, you can gain a lot of time on the drivers around, but at the same time, when there's a safety car delta going on, all sort of things run in your mind. Do you want to stick to the delta? Do you want to just risk it and just go over it a little bit? And I think Envy might have just lost it unluckily there.
Yeah. Andre heads into the pits. He's come out on a fresh set of softs. I don't know if that's intentional. Could be, considering he's come out in P15. So he should be able to get a few positions before he heads into the pits again. We've got Freeze in P8 and Hyrox24 much closer to his teammate than he's ever been out on track.
Yep. And well, it's a reset, as we always like to say it when the safety car is out. So all drivers are on the mediums, except for Andre, who is back out on the soft. So unfortunately though, I think he has to hold the thought of boxing again, because safety car is in this lap.
All eyes on Horning.
He will be rapid on the restart. He can make some positions and make those soft tires work in his favor. And take it long till about lap 20 maybe. I don't know if that tires will last that long, but he's definitely got his... he has to sort out his strategy unless there's some more godly interventions to save him.
Yep, definitely, and he's got some quite competent drivers. He's got 2 champions to worry about, with the likes of UK and Big Man Joe. Oxygen, if he was a main driver who completed the course of a season in BRL, he would have been a champion. Everybody knows that, but he's not. But he's a real quick driver, that's for sure. And he's got Derp as well, who is, you could say, fighting for the championship, but up ahead it's Derp's teammate up ahead, Horning, backing up the pack as the race restart begins. Kubarabi closing in on Horning as much as he can. Oxygen racks up a 3-second time penalty. Midfield battles perhaps. Few go wheel to wheel. RB Ferrello trying to be ambitious, but it's a mark, I presume, being ambitious on the likes of Freeze. That's sick nig on Freeze.
Yeah, and we made a move on Freeze as well. Freeze and Signic now, now Harry Rocks makes a move on Signic as well. So that Mercedes has not been the luckiest of the drivers during the restart here.
Yeah, Big Man Joe closing in now down the inside. Is he going to attempt a move? No, he's not. So he's going to stay behind Signic for that much longer. UK closing in on the likes of Baby Shumi, but up ahead KDB. Ooh. He's gotten a position. He's up in a P2.
Yeah, opportunistic there now, right on the gearbox of Horning. Look at that. I think Horning might have had a bad exit out of the chicane as well, and into the chicane, into the hairpin. Horning runs wide. KB takes the lead. Kuberabi goes in P2. Horning is now dropping even more positions. What's happened there to him?
Yeah, you can't make it up. He's gone. He went off track, and I think he pretty much came to a complete halt almost as KDB takes the race lead. It's Kuberabi within half a second of him. Streeter has quite the time to close in, but it's RB Ferrello close behind. So the top 15.
Loses the position to Harry Rock side by side into turn 1. They go. Well, Freeze is not yielding. He is fighting back side by side. They go into turn 2 and 3, and right behind Harry Rocks is Sickening as well.
I was looking for a substantial gap between any two drivers and I didn't see even a single one, but now it's opened up between Kuberabi and Streeter. Mind you, they are teammates for today, and rightfully so. RB Ferro goes a tad bit wide. Envy takes the fight to him, and he's up in a P4.
Yep, and we will be charging back to True Field as well. RB Ferro on all the mediums will be finding it difficult to keep it on track against the faster drivers behind him. But
oh, it's a spinning Red Bull. It's a spinning Red Bull. And I think that's Oxygen. Yes, it is.
It is Oxygen. He has spun it into, I don't know which chicane it is. There's too many chicanes.
Sector 2.
Hitting onto the hairpin there towards the end of Sector 2. There he goes. He's now 7 seconds behind the train.
Yeah, all within a second of each other. The midfield, the back of the field, pretty much the only substantial gap is between Baby Shumi and Derp, as well as Kuberabi and Streeter. Kuberabi and Streeter, I'm pretty sure that's a gap they would want to develop, considering Streeter can hold back the likes of Envy and RB Ferrello, but doesn't mean Kuberabi is going to be scoring any points for the Haas team today. It's just for himself, so I'm surprised if they're working as a team. Up ahead though, KDB leads this race.
Yeah, only less than 3/10 the gap about there, and I think if Kuberabi can make a move on KDB, or even if this front two could make, subconsciously work together and pull away from the rest of the field, I think they will have comfortable gap heading into the next part of the race, the second half of the race. And Envy now, as to speak of it, makes a move on Streeter. So Envy is not wasting any time, gets a move on the old Haas. And right behind him as well, catching quickly, is RB Ferrello.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, that move, considering Envy has a 2-second gap, over a 2-second gap to close in on his front runners.
Kuberabi lining up a move on KDB. Kuberabi is attacking already. KDB moves to the middle of track, and Kuberabi goes around the outside. Easy move.
KDB tucks right back in. He wants that moment and keep going in on the main straight. Just might stays within a half a second of each other. He knows it's not done. Both drivers on the same set of medium tires, and comes Sector 2 again in the DRS zone. He should be able to make a move.
Yeah, crucially though for Kuberabi, because it is a single detection zone for the DRS zone on the back straight and the start-finish line. So Kuberabi keeps his lead for a while, but not for long. KDB will be having a bite of that cherry coming into the start of the second sector, where the DRS is activated once again.
Fight in the front, incredible. Envy's not making any strides of progress, sitting there in P3, and that gap between him and Streeter is only becoming bigger. So we are getting that gap opened up to the midfield. RB Ferrello held back by the likes of Streeter, and it's Freeze trying to make a move on Horning on the gearbox with Irox 24, Sicknick, Big Man Joe, Baby Shumi, and the likes of Derp, UK, Andre, and the rest close behind.
Yeah, it's a question of, do you want to risk the corner and risk getting a warning and a penalty, at the same time you want to keep it safe and stay out of the barriers, which is definitely the things that's running in the driver's mind. That's why we're getting so much action on track. Some drivers are risking it, some drivers are keeping it safe, and as a result of that, KDB actually almost made a move on Kuberabi, but
and so yeah, and so did RB Ferrello on Streeter. And yeah, they're closer than ever. So definitely lap number 12 is the lap to watch these guys pick off position after position. But KDB now is within 3/10 of Kuberabi. It's going to stay there for quite a bit. The gaps become a bit bigger between RB Ferrello and the likes of Streeter, but opens up an opportunity for the likes of Freeze, Hyrox 24, Sicknig, and it's Derp closing in on Baby Shumi.
Yeah, it's a DRS train, very long DRS train, all the way from Streeter this time. back to P14. So you can see it's all drivers are just within 5 seconds from the start till the end. But there we go, side by side. Derp lines up a move on Baby Shumi. It is.
But it's horning on Freeze, and he's sent it off the track as well. He's lost 2 positions instead of gaining 1 up ahead. And Kuberabi holding on, and there's contact between Horning and the wall, and between another driver as well. He's lost his front right and he's lost his front wing. That's the end of the race for Horning. Sector 3 lights up yellow. It's a full safety car.
Full safety car, yes, Arte. Yes, you're right. And there we go. Just riding on board with Oxygen. Just saw Horning was trying to recover his car earlier, and unfortunately just clipped the wall, and his suspension was ripped off. Guess what? Oxygen is the first one into the pits because he did not cross the line. Did not cross the last chicane by the time the safety car came out. So will he be able to take advantage of this safety car though? Let's see if luck is on his favor this time around.
But he's got an 18-second gap. As he entered the pits, he had an 18-second gap of sorts to the closest driver, who's Andre. So I don't know how much of that will benefit him. 12-lap old medium runners with the likes of Streeter and RB Ferrello in P4 and P5 respectively. I'm pretty sure they'll be coming into the pits. Top 3 on 7-lap old mediums. You think they're going to risk staying out?
Probably. I think this time around it's roles reversed though. So Street and RB Fellow will be on the advantage with fresher tires in the field. So unlike the first race that we had about half an hour ago, where some drivers were only about majority of the field. I think about 12 drivers were on the mediums, and the rest were like on a fresher or older mediums. I don't know. It's the first race gone, but let's come back to this. I'm confusing myself. I'm confusing you folks. Sorry for that. But yeah, Streeter is
first definitely
into the pits. RB Ferlo, wow, surprisingly stays out. This guy's playing a big gamble by staying on these worn medium tires.
Yeah, UK and Andre follow as well into the pits. Fresh set of mediums for all 3 drivers who come into the pits on lap number 13.
Yeah, and looks like Oxygen, who is trying to stay within the delta time, will not be able to make a move on anyone up ahead. Will he though? It's very close, but let's see if he can even gain 1 position on UK. But no, UK is on. It's on the outside where the pit lane merges into the racetrack much faster than taking turn 1 and 2, which means Oxygen will stay at the back. Opens up some opportunities for him to box again if he wants to. We'll see about that, but 1 lap old tires, I think that wouldn't make too much of a difference.
Unfortunate. But yeah, the gap has considerably reduced, as you would expect from a safety car for Oxygen and the closest driver, who's Andre at the time, and now it's UK. So yeah, in the pits, it seems like Andre got the jump on UK. I believe a wing change might have been a factor to consider. Yeah, right now on lap number 14, KDB leads this race ahead of Kuberabi, Envy, RB Ferrello, and Freeze finds himself in the top 5.
Yeah, but the main bird here is everyone in the top 10 are on worn mediums. The last 4, 11 to 14, Streeter, Andre, UK, and Option are on fresh tires. So this is really a strategic advantage for these drivers.
RB Ferrello heads into the pits.
Oh, that's a late call, but I think he knew that, even if he pitted in the last lap, he would be towards the end of the grid. Might as well box for soft tires. Wow.
Now I'm going to question whether Dub's going to do a similar thing if the safety car continues to stay out on track.
Yeah, but I don't think that might be the case, because this would be the 3rd lap that the safety car is out. So Dub might have just lost his window of opportunity there, which means RB Ferrello, who will be the only guy on the softs actually, will be the fastest guy on track. And I'd like to see some more moves coming in from him. And strategy wise, I think P10 onwards, P10 to 14, these 5 drivers are on the best strategy right now, because the top 9 has to make another stop as well later down the race. If there's no other safety car to save them out, I think we might see likes of UK or RB Fellow, even Oxygen challenging for the race win.
Yeah, what are the odds they're hoping for? Incident early on at the safety car restart. 6-second time penalty being the largest one for one of the drivers out on track for Hyrox 24. And with the likes of the rest of the drivers with any penalties at all, with 3 seconds each.
Yep. And just looking on board with oxygen. He's trying to catch back up to the queue, and yeah, there we go. He is caught up back to the queue, which means we might get a safety car in this lap.
Or
Will it
not?
though? Sometimes it's very late, but let's see. No,
No.
safety car
Stays
still
on
out.
track. Stays on
Yeah.
track. Opportunity maybe for any driver to pit. Will we see it happening? I see a bunch of positions being switched by drivers on the safety car. Hopefully that driver's briefing helps this time around. 10 lap old mediums, the top 7 are on. 14 lap old mediums for Derp. And yeah, with the likes of the back of the pack being having the freshest set of tires out there.
Yeah, I think some drivers are just still swapping positions up and down. They might have been, wondering if the safety car would be in or not. So, no question about that. Definitely something drivers would have thought. But looks like we have another round of safety car. So this will be the final lap. Safety car stays out. 3 laps are in already. So we will indefinitely get a race start at the end of lap 16. Halfway to go from here.
Yeah, KDB leads this race. And to think KDB is not in the top 3 in the driver's title fight. Can you imagine? He's not in the top 3. It is Ennui, it is Abi Ferrello, and it's UK in the top 3. So to think KDB needs to win this race more than anybody else if he wants to keep at it in the Drivers' Championship fight. He's in the top 10 from what I remember, and safety car in this lap. But yeah, he'll want to come back, and he did so last season as well in the second half of the season. He came back and he beat General Pepe in Season 4. He'll be looking forward to do the same perhaps in Season 5.
Yep. Guess what? It is almost second half of the season already. We are already in race 10. And then we have, I don't know what, 12 races more to go. So
14.
I think
14.
it's about time KDB, shows up his Lewis Hamilton vibes of showing up in the second half of the season. And he's rightfully doing so. He will lead the safety car restart. Let's see what happens this time around.
Yeah, perhaps we'll see it at the safety car restart itself. He's trying to back up the field as much as he can, being respectful for all his drivers, and it is a restart. 3-second time penalty for Freeze on the restart. Envy might just be threatened for position early on or not. In the midfield, everybody keeps it clean, and into turn 1 there's not going to be much of a change, much of a tussle of sorts in any part of the field.
Yeah, but looks like RB Fellow didn't have a good restart though. I expected him to have a good one, but he will be charging back, catching back up to the field very, very quickly. Let's see if he can start making some moves into the middle part.
Streeter,
yeah. Almost there, right to the curb.
Yeah, he's trying to...
It's a bit speedy, but still...
Oh, it's a spin! Front wing gone! It is UK! He's out of the race, perhaps? No, he's on track. He's gonna nurse that car.
Yeah.
He's gonna nurse that car back into the pits. He's gonna have a conversation with me after this race, which I'm not gonna like. Either way, UK is down in P14. The safety car's not out for him. He lost his front wing, not the first time he has in this league, but he will head into the pits for probably a fresh set of tires, maybe, or not. We'll find out.
Let's go back to P7 and 8. Positions are being swapped left and right. Baby Shumi and Streeter fighting it out side by side, and Baby Shumi just gets the better of his rival on track. So Baby Shumi keeps the P9 for now. For long.
Yeah, and
gaps are still the same.
Streeter tried tucking right behind Baby Shumi. It didn't help for much, but he will hold on to that gap of in the ballpark of 3/10 or so. He's so close to Baby Shumi. I'm surprised how there was no contact. And RB Ferrello, now he's on a charge after all, Dalvin. You were right.
Yep. Probably took him a lap to get up to speed with his tires. And but now he's already on the gearbox of Andre. Oh, so close there, so close there. Will he be making a move onto this next straight?
Perhaps switching to Derp and Signing. Derp on the gearbox, Signing, and into the next chicane in Sector 2. Oh no, he's going to stay behind Signing, so it's happen is where you can expect a move being made by the likes of Derp. He's on the gearbox and down the inside. We've seen a move by many a driver in this part of the track, and yes, he's up a position, but every now and then it's the driver who's lost a position as the hairpin who comes back fighting in Sector 3 straight. This time around it won't be Signing.
Yeah, but Signing might just be, holding off Big Man Joe so his teammate can make a move, but Big Man Joe knows what's happening, and Derp as well. Struggling to find his space. Lack of practice really shows this time around. Lap 19 and DRS will be enabled this time around. Perhaps it might just help RB Fellow on his beat for, moving through the field, but looks like he's not making much.
Oh, it's a spin.
Yeah, Big Man Joey's round. He just lost it out of turn 2.
Driver error.
Yeah.
Driver error, unfortunate for him.
It's all going great for the Red Bull boys, but that just means, you just have to be careful. Every lap here, this track will catch you out. These old tires, 13 laps old they are. Definitely not in the best shape, and I think he has found out the hard way this time around.
Up ahead though, Envy trying to close that gap to Kuberabi. Kuberabi's gap to KDB has gone over a second now on my board, but it looks on track. It doesn't look that big, but it's Envy on the gearbox of Kuberabi in the part of the track you'd want him to be. Comes alongside him as well in sector 3. It's Envy taking that fight. He wants P2, and it's P2 that he'll get in sector 3, and Kuberabi doesn't stand a chance going into the penultimate final corner. Kuberabi dives into the pits. It's Envy up into P2.
Now makes a move as well. He's up into P10. Andre is the first one he will overtake. Up into P10, RB Fellow goes. Next up ahead for him is Streeter.
Quite the charge he's on, and up into P9 now. Oh, Oxygen and Andre wheel to wheel for a bit into turn 1. Oxygen upper position. Andre doesn't seem too happy out on track. And Davin, if you're saying anything, we can't hear you. And
well, don't worry, because I'm not speaking. I'm just enjoying the action all on track.
Okay, yeah, RB Ferrello on the gearbox of Streeter. Baby Shumi up ahead as well. I won't be surprised if he picks off 2 by the time we start lap number 21.
Yeah, but it's a big old DRS train, so that means RB Ferrello's tire advantage will be negated slightly. But look at that, he's still ever so closer to Streeter and Baby Shumi as well. Lap by lap, he's getting closer. He's picking them off one by one. Next up, is this happen? Will he go for a wide line? Yes, there he goes. Takes a very, very wide line actually, and goes for the best speed onto the straight. A little too far to make a move, but this time around Baby Shumi looks like he'll be defending from Streeter. Baby Shumi has lost DRS, looks like it.
Oh, up ahead, Irox 24 and Derp getting ready to have quite the battle of their own. Perhaps maybe in the next DRS zone, so maybe sector 2 or so.
Streeter's making a move on Baby Shumi around the inside. Can he get Signing as well into turn 1? No, just Baby Shumi.
Oh, contact.
Side by side, a bit of contact. And Baby Shumi, keep it safe. Oh, Signing gets a spur exit as well. RB Fellow in the meantime is getting frustrated behind these 3 drivers.
One can only imagine how RB Ferrello might just be feeling right now, like, move, get out of the way. But he's gonna remain behind Baby Shumi for longer. Maybe the hairpin section of the track is where he'll be able to get a move done.
There we go. It's a move coming in from RB Fellow on Baby Shumi. Baby Shumi had a poor exit into the next chicane. Baby Shumi is behind. Yep, and RB Fellow takes his time, but he makes the move stick and cleanly.
An opportunity for the likes of Andre as well to get a jump on Baby Shumi, perhaps down the inside. Peaks doesn't have what he'd want, but on sector 3 he might.
Yeah. Oh, Envy there makes a move on KDB. We might have just missed that onto the final corner. Yeah, KDB just behind Envy as well. Envy has the DRS, and this time around KDB down to 5% battery, has to yield the position.
Yeah, Envy retakes the race lead. The pole sitter leads this race yet again. But I think he just...
Fellow, he's on a charge. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. Takes the P7 away from Streeter. What a dive by RB Fellow, making use of his soft tires. Up ahead though for him is the ailing Signic on 16 lap old tires. Already within 3 tenths now. RB Fellow is 4 tenths. And the gap is just coming down. Will we see another move coming in sector 2 from RB Fellow? I'm interested to see. Look at that. Just look at how much better traction he's getting, and I don't think he's going to waste any time. He's already draining his battery, and there you go. Signic is defending the inside, but to no avail. He has
contact! It's a
contact from Signic and sends them both spinning.
Double spin, not something you want to see. They both try to rejoin the track as safely as possible. Probably not as safe as you'd like. But yeah, they've both tumbled down the order miserably. And in sector 2 and 3, lights up yellow. Both are racing. Signic's going to hold back because he knows it might just have been a mistake on his part.
And he lets RB Fellow through once again. So good sportsmanship coming through from the drivers as well. And RB Fellow, he might just be fuming right there.
Yeah.
I know what he's going to be saying on stream, but I think he's happy to be racing still. No damage though, so he will be continuing to make it through the field once again. But His tires are aging now, 7 laps. They are off their best already.
Yeah, he heads into the pits for a quick change of tires. Drivers are on track with the longest duration on the same set as 21 lap old mediums for Dup. He's in P4.
Yep, keeping it clean in P4. I think he's slowly starting to find his pace as he's catching up. I'm not sure if he's catching up or losing to Freeze, but only 4 seconds for the gap. It's pretty good considering there's another stint to go for all these drivers in the top 8 and possibly the rest of the field as well. So it's still all to play for in the last 13 laps.
Yeah, definitely all to play for. As in the midfield, we might have just missed Kubarabi pitting. He's on 3 lap old mediums, climbing up the order as well. He's in P11. UK sets the fastest lap time on those 2 lap olds. Saw 1 minute 11.121.
Yep, and he's still, well, quite a way behind the rest of the field. But oh, look at this! Oxygen has made a move on Streeter down the inside into the final chicane. Takes the inside line. Oh, gets a bit squiggly. Will Streeter fight back though? Yes, Streeter is fighting back, but he does not have DRS. Oxygen with the DRS is saved him, and he's up into P5. And there we go. Drivers are pitting already. Dub is the first driver to pit and goes onto the soft. Andre as well box onto the soft, so Dub makes his one and only pit stop. 12 laps to go until the end on the soft tires. Will he be able to make it work? Will he get a good undercut on the drivers in front of him? Let's see. Will the drivers in front react to it as well?
Yeah, and through sector 2 as they go, Oxygen and Streeter stay within a second of each other. Up ahead as well, the 2 front runners are within half a second of each other for quite some time now, both on the same set of tires, KDB and Envy. And Freeze.
Oh, Dub there on fresh tires makes a move on RB Fellow. RB Fellow had a poor exit as well, coming onto the first or second DRS straight in the middle sector. Dub now pulls a gap already and is closing up on Kubarabi immediately.
And yeah,
as boxes. So that's the first of the drivers to react to Dub's early pit stop. So possibly covering off the undercut, which is pretty powerful around here. And onto the soft tires, and he goes as well.
KDB leads this race, and things might have just played into the hands of the likes of Dub, perhaps, as he makes his charge through the field. Freeze stays out as well. Hyrox 24, Oxygen, Streeter. So it's just Envy who's headed into the pits first, and he comes out P6.
Yep, P6 behind Oxygen and Streeter. And well, these fresh tires are proving to be very, very fast. And look at that. I think he's already lining up a move down the inside. Now he just waits for it. Waiting to get a better exit onto the DRS straight. And there we go. There's a move coming in already. Does Streeter fight this? Does he know? Or will he hold back? Looks like Streeter is fighting a little bit, but Envy is taking the inside line. Guarantees him the next position. Oxygen up ahead.
Yeah, as it sits, Envy runs P5. Dub racks up a 3-second time penalty. Not something you'd want to see. But it's only 3 drivers clean out there, and Envy stays
KDB
clean.
Boxes as well.
Yeah,
KDB is now reacting to Envy's pit stop. One lap fresh tires KDB will have. Freeze as well is in.
Envy's lining up a move
on Oxygen already.
Yeah, and he's up in a P4. Next up is his teammate, so that shouldn't be much of an issue or take too much time to get a move done on him. But Hyrox 24, probably for the first time or maybe for the second time in Season 5, leads a race.
Yeah, and crucially though, behind him is his teammate. So, you know, I think they're just playing the team game here, and Envy will get past Hyrox at the right time, so neither of the drivers will lose any time. And crucially, Envy, with that 1 lap undercut, has pulled out about 3 to 4 seconds gap on KDB. 1 lap fresher tire for KDB though. What can he do towards the closing stages of the race?
It's a question out and about, but Dub on the gearbox Freeze this time around. Yep, he's alongside him as well and should be able to get the move done rather quickly.
Yep.
Oh, contact, and they both spun.
Yep.
Oh, Freeze got out of there. Freeze got out of there clean, but it was Dub. He's taken the brunt of it. He's lost a second to Freeze, and he's probably headed into the pits as well.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't have damage, but looks like he might have just picked up some damage there. So that will be the end of his charge for now. Right behind him is Big Man Jodo, so he's pretty safe for now.
Yeah, but that's going to cost him. He was in quite the position, an opportunistic position, but he's not going to head into the pits. He's Oh, he is. He
Actually,
is.
he does.
I
Yeah,
was
he
on.
does.
I was on freeze. Apologies there. And the gap has extended throughout the field on lap number 27, which means it's all down to the drivers to bring it home now.
Yep, KDB closing in on Oxygen, less than a second of a gap now. And he will get DRS into the middle sector. Envy is already closed up to his teammate as well. So let's just look for the good old Ferrari team orders coming through. And yeah, Envy will inherit the race in a short while. Harry Rocks probably will be looking to box at the end of this lap as well.
How mad would Rodden get if they fumbled this? And I don't think they will. In the hairpin, the best part of the track, Hyrox 24 yields and Envy goes up into the race lead. Perfectly executed team orders.
Yeah, not much of a challenge though, but this time around Envy makes it easy, makes it clean on Harry Rocks as well, and goes up into P1. Harry Rocks will be coming into the pits.
Oh,
I think this might just be the time.
Yeah, on sector
KDB?
3 straight, it's KDB taking that fight to Oxygen. He's up a position, he's up in a P3 on those stretch softs. The charge is on to Envy.
Yeah, Envy sets a 10.5 fastest lap. KDB comes across the line, 5 tenths down on the fastest lap though, possibly due to the battles, but he's now up into net P2 once Harry Rocks boxes.
Yeah, but when will Hyrox box is the question. I'm pretty sure the game plan over at Team Ferrari is to hold up KDB for that much longer. But how much longer can Hyrox 24 stay out? He's on 22 lap old mediums already. KDB has a 2-second gap to close, almost a 2-second gap. So he's probably going to take a lap or two to get there.
Yeah, he might even get within a second by the end of this chicane and onto the back straight. Yep, there we go. He's pushing, but it's not close enough. Not within a second just yet.
Just isn't Hyrox 24. He's opened up a almost a 4-second gap to his teammate. And yeah, as you said it, KDB is within a second of Hyrox 24. Now starts what Hyrox 24 can do for his team, for Envy.
Yep, every single you know attempt works. Oh, Sydney there.
Yeah.
Losing some position to Dub as well.
Quite the move by Dub. He's stayed out with... Oh, no, he did end up pitting after all. He's on a fresh set of mediums. 1 lap old mediums. And he's up in a P10. Let's go back to the front of the pack. Sector 2 lights up yellow.
And that's Andre.
Andre
has lost it.
KDB takes
KDB makes a move on Harry Rocks. There we go.
Yeah, that
One
seemed...
time it came in.
That seemed a bit too easy. Oh, Hyrox 24 coming back, trying his best too. But he won't have what he needs in his tires to get to stay on the gearbox of KDB for that much longer. KDB up in a P2 and he'll charge on to close that 5-second gap now to Envy.
Yeah, 1 lap fresher tires maybe might just be the thing he needs now with clear air. Let's see if he can push as well. Crucially though, KDB has some penalties on his name, so he will have to make some on-track moves and pull out a gap if he wants to win the race.
Yeah, and in the midfield, it's Streeter and Baby Shumi within half a second of each other. And Streeter closing in rather quickly. So we could expect maybe in Sector 3 a move by the likes of Streeter. Both on the same set of tires, however.
Yeah, and what's more important is Streeter having that extra battery power and the benefit of the DRS heading into the back straight here. Oh, Baby Shumi runs a little bit wide, but that's all okay. Now Streeter is so much closer this time around. Harry Rocks, meanwhile, up ahead, finally makes his second pit stop of the race.
And yeah, Baby Shumi trying his best to deny Streeter off the slipstream. Streeter gets what he needs, and down the inside perhaps. No, he holds back through the penultimate and final corner. He knows that Wall of Champions could be a nuisance, but on the main straight, Baby Shumi weaves to the left, but not enough. Down the inside goes Streeter, stays wheel to wheel.
Side they go.
Oh, he's being incredibly aggressive there, Baby Shumi. Rightfully so. Hard racing as you'd like to see it. Streeter still alongside of Baby Shumi. Contact as well. Somehow, both of them stay alive and on track, and Baby Shumi stays in front.
Yeah, but crucially though, I think with all this fighting, Harry Rocks has managed to box and come out ahead of these two. So he is having a 12-second gap to Fridge to manage. Will he be able to charge back within 5 laps? Let's see. But ooh, Baby Shumi there, going very defensive into the corner. Streeter now, he is not waiting, but I know he can see it that Baby Shumi's red light is blinking, which means Baby Shumi is less than 10% on battery power. Oh, goes for a switch back, but Baby Shumi parks it on the apex rightfully so he can do that. But this time around, Streeter gets the DRS, gets the battery power. Baby Shumi is powerless now, defensive inside, but it's not going to help him at all. Straight up to P7.
Yeah, but look who's here now. Dalvin, it's RB Ferrello on the gearbox of Baby Shumi. He's made up quite the gap, and he should get that position like taking candy from a baby, as I like to say. Down into turn 1, down the inside, he's up in a P8.
Yep, calm and collected, made his move at the right time and without losing the DRS gap to Street as well.
Yep, Baby Shumi finds himself down to P9. 5-lap old softs, not working in his favor. Regardless, he races on just like you'd expect. It's Oxygen Kuberabi on medium tires, still out on track. And of course, at the back of the pack, it's Derp and Andre on medium tires. UK picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's running P13.
Yeah, and well, UK might be just looking to end this race as soon as he can. Kuberabi, though, he knows there's a podium up for grabs. 7-lap fresher tires compared to Oxygen's mediums, and podium is up ahead. KDB, though, not making any inroads on NB. Possibly might be calling it safe and sound to bring it home.
Perhaps 3 laps left. Anything's possible. That gap, of course, has extended for 3 seconds, so maybe...
Oh, look out for a move into the first corner. I think RB Fellow is very close to Street, but no, messes up the last chicane and loses all the advantage he had. One more lap might be the chance for RB Fellow to move up into P7.
Now with 3 laps left, KDB is hoping for Envy to fumble just that much, but Kuberabi, he's taking the fight to Oxygen on the gearbox this time around, and the contact almost, but Kuberabi around the outside should have gotten it done into that sector 2 chicane. I'm not able to get that perfect camera view, but yeah, Oxygen's lost that position. He's down to P4.
But this time around, Oxygen will get the DRS as well, and Kuberabi going very wide. This might just invite Oxygen to make a repass on the back straight here. The longest of the straights will give you the maximum benefit, and looks like Oxygen is not holding back. He's going for it. He goes down the inside. Kuberabi is defenseless, and he has to let RB Fellow, he has to let Oxygen through, and up into P3, Oxygen goes back. He's fighting back, and that has invited Freeze into the party for the podium contention.
Yeah, we saw this happen with the likes of RB Ferrello as well in a similar situation, and yeah, Kuberabi still trying his best to hold on to the gearbox of Oxygen, stay there as much as he can, but it might just cost him a position soon enough if he keeps staying behind Oxygen.
Yeah, crucially though, Freeze behind him has 6-second penalties, so Kuberabi ahead of Oxygen has 9-second off penalties, so he knows that the P3 is guaranteed regardless, and there we go. Kuberabi makes another move on Oxygen, but is Oxygen calculating this perfectly as well? Will he be able to make a repass on him? But no, looks like Freeze is on his gearbox this time around, so Oxygen, instead of making a repass on P3, might be losing that P4 as well.
Yeah, just might, but sector 3 straight. It's anyone's guess. Kuberabi weaves to the right to deny Oxygen the slipstream, but he's too far off anyway. I don't see Oxygen coming back for a fight. What about Freeze? Freeze has a huge gap as well. Probably not that much as Oxygen closing in, but he's too late.
What though? One move that might be coming into RB Fellow on the back of Streeter this time around. Within 6 tenths, but still the gap is a little too big. Streeter is doing well. He's getting good exits onto the back straight and is defending just enough. For RB Fellow, get a cleaner chicane here and get a better run on Streeter. Looks like he's gonna go for it, but no, he decides to hold back for another lap.
Yeah, he's gonna stay in P8 for that much longer, but up ahead, Freeze trying to keep that gap within half a second of Oxygen. Come the final lap, maybe, just maybe, he might have an opportunity to strike. Let's quickly switch to Dub, who is 3 tenths to Baby Shumi, but it's a battle for P9.
Yep, every point counts here as long as you finish the race, and that's what it's on his mind. So, very close there, within 2 tenths only. Will Dub be able to make a move? This freshen similarly aged mediums and softs, but I think the mediums will be coming in much faster in the last 2 laps. Baby Shumi is blinking, and Dub spots an opportunity. Yeah. That's a better exit on Baby Shumi there. Side by side into the hairpin they will go. Will Baby Shumi yield this, or will Dub dive down the inside? Yes, he does. Dub dives down the inside, but he loses control. Slides across the hairpin, and Dub goes through in P9.
And up ahead, Freeze got a move done on Oxygen in the similar way. There were 2 tenths between each other.
He goes for the move. This time around, he makes it stick into the final corner, and he will have the benefit of DRS. Will he be able to keep the P7? Those Streeter is not giving up just yet. He's pushing with all his battery. But no, he doesn't have the gap. RB Fellow,
Yeah,
cool and calculated, up into P7 goes.
It's just not there. And just like how that gap, huge gap up in front. Unfortunate we didn't see KDB close the gap as we'd like to see him do. We've seen him do quite a few times. It's Envy. He's coming along the hairpin now in Sector 3. I think he's driven a race you'd expect him to. He's driven quite the race from pole position, and he just extends that driver's championship lead that he has as he comes along the penultimate and final corner. It's Envy on this track in Canada. Envy comes across the finish line, wins the Canadian GP of Bwoah Racing League Season 5. And KDB, will he be able to hold on to that P2 after race penalties? I think he should be able to. And yeah, yep, P2 for him. And Kubarabi picks up P3, unfortunately not for his team, but just for himself.
Yeah, and that means a good race, good turn up for him. Freeze now crosses line P4, Oxygen P5. Penalties are still coming through, and let's see, Harry Rocks will be the next one to cross the line, but he has a 15-second penalty, which means RB Fellow will be the lucky one to benefit from that. He will get promoted up to P6 on post-race. There we go, P6 for RB Fellow. What a good race for him.
Yeah, and we might have just missed Derp making that move on the likes of Streeter perhaps, or maybe it was race penalties that cost him the position. Streeter, but yeah, the 0.078 gap across the finish line was pretty evident on my cam. But yes, all points, all positions get points, so finishing the race counts for everything. 14 drivers finished out of 16 drivers. That's a fair number.
Yeah, and well, RB Fellow now picks up the driver of the day. What a performance from the back of the grid to come back to P6. He has done it well once again. Envy picks up the win, the points, maximum points as well, and the fastest lap to go with that. So that's a bonus for him in his championship.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And he throws copies of 2021 on the podium. How ironic. Regardless, I wonder who picks up the thunder lap of this race. I think it was UK. Could be UK.
I might have just missed it, but it was Envy with a 10.1, I think, at the end.
Oh, okay.
And he might have just eclipsed UK just a little bit. Let's see. Envy sets a 10.513. UK is half a second off. So there we go. Envy picks up the Thunder Lap. 10.51.
Yeah, race win, Thunder Lap. That should go for a point in the championship as well. So absolutely brilliant. KDB on the podium at Canada. No surprise there, but definitely a win that slipped through perhaps in his view. Kubarabi, not for his team, but just for himself on the podium. Pretty sure Gouts and Andre might just be bummed about that. Yeah, that's the end.
Would have been a really good podium for McLaren if he raced for them, but yep. A race is a race. I think he's happy with his performance.
Indeed, you'd expect each one of these drivers to be. Big Man Joe completes the race, hasn't retired, so yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be taking that as a good point away from this race. Regardless, it was great to be back now. Always a pleasure. Onwards after the mid-season break, which we'd like to call the next week or so, and we'll be heading back to Bahrain for the race restart of Bahrain.
Yeah, and that's another classical track, another overtaking show that we're expecting in Bahrain as well. So looking forward to a re-race of Bahrain. Perhaps some drivers have unfinished business over there. We know who are they know who they are, and they will be back ever so much stronger this time around. Let's hope they turn up well.
Yeah. Hopefully so. And that's the end of the Canadian GP of the Bwoah Racing League Season 5, folks. Those of you who stay till the very end, thank you very much. We'll see you again next race. Cheers, Davin.